Five-star cornerback Donte Wright flipped his commitment from Georgia to Miami. Let's talk about what this means for Georgia and why Miami seems like it's coming, especially in this age of, well, the market being what the market is for college football talent. What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. If this is your first time watching Adapt and Respond, thank you for joining us here. We talk college football year-round. If you're into that, hit that subscribe button, like this video, and answer the question in the comments below. Do you think Donte Wright's flip from Georgia to Miami is a sign of the times, or is it just one more five-star that's going away from the SEC at a time when it feels like all Georgia's been doing is putting defensive players into the first round of the NFL draft? This is also coming at a time when Georgia has both been so solid and a little unsteady. What I mean by that is you can count on Georgia to be at the top of the SEC. I wrote a column last July, actually, that still stands up today following SEC Media Days, where we're having all these conversations about what Texas might be, preseason number one team in the country, how many teams SEC might get into the college football playoff, notably Oklahoma and Ole Miss making trips to that thing in the 12-team format, along with Alabama and Georgia. And not to say nothing of what LSU might be doing later down the line, Tennessee the year before. Everybody that you expect to be good, save Vanderbilt, has basically made it to college football playoff. But you know as well as I know that has not turned into championships. And we're looking at Georgia as to, well, the main culprit for this. Because at the time I wrote, Georgia is the king of the SEC, and it is their crown until somebody takes it from them. All they did was defend that crown. Back-to-back SEC champions going into the college football playoff, but that has not yielded championships. And more importantly, you've seen teams in the Big Ten and the ACC and the Big 12 rise to the occasion. Texas Tech got the 4 seed. They got walloped by Oregon, but they got the 4 seed. You also saw an Ole Miss team beat up on a Georgia team that you would not have bet on them to beat in the regular season. You're also looking around at a Georgia team that lost to Notre Dame the year prior, going into what we thought was going to be a raucous national championship game, right? We're also looking at Miami on its way. Since name, image, and likeness came online, a few programs have stepped with the good foot. Ohio State being one of them, Texas Tech being another, and another being Miami. Miami has not been shy, even when it was loud and, shall we say, angry looking in the way that it tried to corner the name, image, and likeness market before we even had rules for this, right? Think about Jaden Rashada for a second, right? Think about the lawsuits to follow. And here lately, Darian Mensah went into the portal without actually going into the portal. He just told everybody he's going to end up in Miami. Duke sues. They settle. Miami gets a starting quarterback. They also were offering Ty Simpson an arm and a leg to stay one more year to play college football. Ends up being the number 10 pick in the NFL draft to the Los Angeles Rams, who traded up to go get him. Also at a time when Mario Cristobal can say that he put the number 1 pick into the NFL draft in 2025. And then he had 3 linemen go in the first round, 4 linemen go in the 3 linemen go in the first round. Keem Messiador, Francis McGaw, and Ruben Bain. Yeah, and that's 4 to the SEC. You also get to say, and this is the one that I would actually raise the banner for, Miami has won 5 consecutive games against SEC competition. That includes 2 wins against A&M, 1 in the college football playoff, 1 against Ole Miss. Okay, Donte Wright out of Long Beach Poly, right? You can make a claim that he ain't got no allegiance to no teams on no East Coast, right? What the hell he look like leaving the West Coast? What's USC doing about this? Oregon, Washington, UCLA, quite a bit, honestly. But when you're looking at a 6 foot, 175-pound corner who's got all the twitch that you would want, 10.6, 100-meter speed, 21.7, 21.5, 200-meter speed, and he's versatile. You could play him inside, outside. You can play him at the boundary. You can play him at the field. You can play him at the nickel if that's what you want to do. You could see why someone would want him. And to flip a commitment now means it's probably outbidding someone. So the market for a defensive back in 2026 for high school, right? So 26 going in 27, you're looking at the floor being $500,000. At the 5-star level, $1 million. That's in year 1, right? Put that in perspective with guys like, say, Jared Curtis, who flipped his commitment from Georgia to Vanderbilt. getting $2 million in year one. He's probably going to start the season as QB1 for Vanderbilt. And Kirby Smart and Georgia get to say, look, it's best if you don't want to come here then, because they are constantly saying out loud, we don't want you here if you are chasing a check. We really don't. We want you here if you want to be Georgia Bulldogs, and we pay guys on the back end for staying. And they do, right? The pay scale goes up the longer you are a Georgia Bulldog. And if you are contributing at a high level, they want to take care of you. But that doesn't make them any different than any other major college football program. Everybody's got a lot of money. Nobody wants you to act like they got a lot of money. It's how I kind of look at my Apple TV subscription, right? Apple's a phone company. They're not really that interested in media. If they were, they would make bigger plays. And they wouldn't be so embarrassed when it doesn't go their way, right? When the Wolves, George Clooney, Brad Pitt, was being called a so-so, they pulled it from theaters. But when F1 went intergalactic, they're loud about it. And they go all in on F1, the league, and put it all on Apple TV, which, is probably going to ruin how many people consume the sport going forward. Not unlike what a different MLS. But again, that's what business they're in as a side hustle, right? That ain't the main hustle. The main hustle is making phones, right? And creating the software for which that closed loop can play on. And the more I look at this, the more I got to look at places like Georgia and go, okay, what do you do here? And they develop talent. They've developed talent into first-round picks. But is that enough now? And I would say to you, no, it's not. It's not. Because in any given year, you're going to have about 35 stars. In any given year, you're going to have about 11,000 plus FBS football players. All of them are getting something now. Right? It ain't a lot for most, but it's something. And in some cases, it's generational wealth. If you are a backup offensive tackle on a Power 4 team, you're probably making in the realm of $200,000 to $500,000, $200,000 to $500,000. You do that over 4 years, you throw that into an index fund, you are set up. You don't ever need to make it to the NFL to start making more money or making good money. So when people talk about investing in their futures, I'm going to invest in you right now as well. You don't get to act as if your present does not matter. Now, this is also at a time when everything is paid for. Room, board, food, clothes. They don't have to spend any of this money. So that's even more money you get to pocket. So is Georgia losing its outstanding edge in recruiting of being an NFL factory to money on the table? And I submit to you, yes, they are.